Well, the time is just gone 8:36 as we continue with the broadcast on News and Views this morning. And this has always been a question in terms of ceasefires and whether they hold. And we are now talking about the DRC, the Democratic Republic of Congo, condemning the massacre of more than 300 civilians by M23 rebels. And this despite a ceasefire agreement that was signed in Doha. And we know, as we heard even earlier on from my guest, Patrick Kadima, talking about the United States of America taking credit for that ceasefire deal. But we've seen now condemnation because these are innocent people that were actually executed in 4 villages by Rwandan-backed M23. And we're going across now to be joined by journalist who is based in Goma, Jafar Al-Katanti. Jafar, assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh, and welcome.
Walaikum salam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Thank you.
Yes. Jafar, wonderful that you are able to join us this morning. Now, clearly, what we are seeing at this point in time, the ceasefire that was actually announced and negotiated as well, but now we see the killing, the massacres still continue.
Exactly. I can say yes, not, because as a journalist, I can't confirm anything before I get many evidence. One thing we know is true that the ceasefire were many times violated on both sides. The government side attacked M23 zones, and M23 also responded and attacked other government's fighting zones. But talking about killings in Ruchuru, regarding the accusation from the UN, this can be a problem for any journalist based here in the zone because we don't have access to that zone to get more evidence. To be honest, UN is a good source to a journalist. But unfortunately, I'm not sure myself that also UN gets records from good sources because everything started by some alert from people who are not even based in Ruchuru, people who works with the local Ruchuru civilian society, and they had to flee the advance of rebels till Beni. So they are like 300 kilometers away of Ruchuru, and from there they reported these killings, basing from some alert of locals in that zone. And we journalists here in Goma, we can't confirm or not, as it's far from us and we still don't have access to that zone because we are in this zone under the rebel control.
Well, I think I can understand perfectly why you are saying that you cannot verify what the United Nations is saying. And I think it's important for anyone, for any journalist, for any media person to be able to verify the facts and, whether these massacres really happened or the way the UN says. And I think, we can use the example of what's happening in Gaza because no independent journalists, and at this point in time, the world is reliant on what Israel is telling the world, and we know it cannot be verified. We cannot believe what they are saying because there is no independent verification, Jafar.
Exactly, that's what I'm saying. Um, I am in Goma, what is like the capital city of the rebellion. And the massacre was in another zone under rebellion control. But that zone is every day a scenario of fightings between the rebellion M23 and some pro-government militia called Wazalendo. And every day when they fight, both sides kill. And when UN give a statement accusing M23 of a mass killing, which is a massacre, and I can trust UN, but as a journalist, I can't be 100% sure, as I cannot verify by myself, as I still don't have access to that zone. And it's not only me, but all journalists around this zone. One thing I can maybe need from M23 and MONUSCO is to organize the way that journalists we can access to that zone to investigate and get real information, because both sides are giving different allegation. I was yesterday with the deputy coordinator of AFC, the alliance of the Congo River, which is the head of this rebellion, who didn't accept that their armed forces killed anyone in that area. He qualified this accusation that the Joint Bureau of MONUSCO of UN is now playing the game of the Kinshasa government by accusing, by making fake accusation on M23.
Yes, Jafar, just from the developments that you've been following, and I'm sure you have been looking at these developments very, very closely. And just in your understanding, we had the ceasefire, and you mentioned that there have been many violations of the ceasefire
Exactly.
over and over again. Why do you think this is the case? What lies behind these violations, even when you have a ceasefire that is negotiated?
To be honest, as a Congolese citizen, we don't really know what is going on in this situation, because we think that both sides are lying. Sometimes they say, both sides say, we don't want fighting, we don't, we need a political solution, a diplomatic solution. When talking, their army is still fighting in the zone. And sometimes after signing of a ceasefire, both sides, this time can be the government who start attacking, and another time it will be the rebellion who start attacking. So they use both sides to violate the ceasefire, and we don't know why. Maybe it seems that the talks is not the way both sides want to make end, or to make end to this situation, because we know that I think the goal of the government of DRC is to make end to this rebellion by weapon. What is also the goal of the rebellion, because they have a big supporter and big means now, as they feel themselves in ways to take the control of the entire country. They also think that it's now time to continue fighting and to reach Kinshasa, get out of control the president and his government.
Well, Jafar, we're going to have to leave it at that, and we do appreciate you taking time out with us this morning, right here on Asala Media, all the way out of Goma. And we wish you well, inshallah. And please take care. And once again, we thank you for your time. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa
You're
barakatuh.
welcome. Walaikum salam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Jafar Al Katani joining us, Goma-based journalist, this morning, and that brings us straight to 8:45. It is the day of Jum'ah, the blessed day of Jum'ah, and we always seek nasiha from our ulama. And this morning, the alternate imam at the Soweto Masjidul Ummah, and Maulana Daud Ndlovu will be sharing his nasiha with us.